What's up, Taiwan? I'm Rik Glauert with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Activists have revived a pedestrian rights movement in Taiwan as protesters take to the streets calling out bad drivers and pushing for more safety measures. John Van Trieste reports.
Across the country, it's a weekend of protests by pedestrians fed up with the state of Taiwan's roads. The behavior of Taiwan's drivers has earned the country travel warnings from foreign governments. A 2022 CNN article even branded the country a pedestrian hell. A grassroots movement has since taken off, aiming to give sidewalks and pedestrian lanes back to the people. A year on from big marches in 2023, protesters are back to let drivers and officials know that the movement still has legs.
不管是老人、小孩还是一般的用路人，大家都可以有舒适而且走路起来安全的地方。
确实不够安全，你会需要时时就是左右张望，看有没有来车，然后有时候会一台车这样呼啸转过去这样子。
The agitation has had an impact. Since last year's rallies, the government's passed 2 pieces of legislation meant to protect people out on foot. Last year also saw pedestrian deaths drop to 380, a 16-year low. But organizers say 380 deaths is 380 too many. And protesters are focusing on one area for change: basic infrastructure.
大家觉得走在人行道上为什么还会被车撞？因为它是标线型的，它没有实体阻隔。
It's still not uncommon to see scooters in pedestrian lanes or delivery trucks blocking them as drivers drop off packages. And these protesters say that it all has to stop. Organizers hope 2 days of protests across the country will drive that message home. Howard Jung and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
More Taiwanese businesses are expanding abroad as the country's direct overseas investment reached a new high in the second quarter. Taiwan invested $10.7 billion abroad between April and June this year. That's an increase of about $7.5 billion over the same period last year. Economy Ministry data shows domestic tech companies are fueling that uptick. The world's largest contract chipmaker, TSMC, is funding projects in the US and Japan, while iPhone maker Foxconn is also investing in Europe, Mexico, and the US. Taiwan's military is showing off a new domestically built surveillance drone. The Albatros 2 drone captured images of the military's precision-guided missile tests. The drone is the next level up from the Albatros 1 with improved range and communication capabilities. The drone can intercept boats and planes and provide high-resolution images for intelligence gathering. Taiwan may become the first country in Asia to eradicate 3 major swine illnesses. Taiwan stopped giving vaccinations for classical swine fever to pigs in July last year. After a year of examination and with no new classical swine fever cases since 2021, agriculture officials are applying for swine fever-free status with the World Organization for Animal Health. If successful, Taiwan's status would be verified next May, making it the only country in Asia to successfully eliminate foot-and-mouth disease, classical swine fever, and African swine fever. Israel is striking what it calls terror targets in Lebanon. It says it launched rockets after finding that militant group Hezbollah was preparing to start an attack on its territory. As Philip Brossard reports, this latest violence has reignited fears of greater regional conflict.
Smoke rises from Lebanon, just across the border from Israel. The result of an exchange of rocket fire on Sunday between Israel and the Lebanon-based Islamist militant group Hezbollah.
לפנות בוקר אנחנו זיהינו היערכות של חיזבאללה לתקוף את ישראל. בעצה אחת עם שר הביטחון והרמטכ"ל, הנחינו את צה"ל לפעול באופן יזום להסיר את האיום. צה"ל פועל מאז בעוצמה לסכל את האיומים. הוא חיסל אלפי רקטות שכוונו לצפון הארץ, הוא מסכל גם איומים רבים אחרים, פועל בעוצמה גדולה, הן בהגנה והן בהתקפה.
Hezbollah said it was beginning phase 1 of an attack, sending hundreds of rockets and drones toward Israel after the killing of its top commander in late July. The volleys sharply escalate hostility between the two heavily armed foes. Clashes between Israel and Hezbollah have been increasing alongside the war in Gaza. And it's raising fears of a full-blown conflict between US-backed Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah, which would widen an already bloody conflict in the Middle East. Israel has declared a state of emergency for 48 hours. Flights to and from Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airport have been temporarily suspended.
Not sure. We showed up here a few hours ago, an hour ago, and we're waiting to see what happens. God's in control. We have no clue.
We have no clue. We hear that there's drones, missiles, rockets. You see everyone's faces. Everyone's scared. Everyone's just waiting, sitting on the floor. We don't know what's going to be. We're ready for what God plans, but it is what it is.
That's it. We're ready.
We've got to stay strong.
These strikes add fuel to a conflict that has been burning hot since Palestinian militant group Hamas launched an attack across the border from Gaza in October, killing more than 1,000 people in Israel and taking another 250 people hostage. Israel's retaliation has left more than 40,000 Palestinians dead, according to the Palestinian Health Authority. On Saturday, Palestinian residents returned to Hamad city after fleeing Israeli bombs.
استكشف بيتنا اللي انقصف بيتنا انقصف أبويا مفقود بقاله 5 أيام في مدينة حمد واليوم تلقينا خبر استشهاده.
Hezbollah has links with Gaza's Hamas and sees itself as an ally in a fight to regain what they see as a stolen Palestinian homeland. Israel maintains it will defend itself against neighboring Arab groups which want to see the state's destruction. Negotiations seeking to end the war in Gaza had been making progress, but this latest escalation on Israel's northern border suggests that the bloodshed in this sensitive region is likely to continue. Dolphin Chen, Rik Glauert, and Philip Broussard for TaiwanPlus.
The suspected knifeman that killed 3 people and injured 8 at a festival in Germany has turned himself into police. This is the 3rd arrest in connection with Friday's attack in the western city of Solingen. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack, but there's been no confirmation from German police. Germany's Chancellor says the perpetrator will face serious penalties.
Eins ist ganz klar, solche Taten müssen hart bestraft werden. Wir dürfen das in unserer Gesellschaft niemals akzeptieren und müssen alles dafür tun, dass wir die konkreten Taten aufklären und verfolgen, aber auch alles dafür tun, dass sowas sich nicht ereignen kann.
A landslide on Thailand's Phuket Island has killed at least 13 people. Heavy rains caused flash floods and the landslide on the popular tourist island, leaving 19 others injured and disrupting the lives of more than 400 people. A Russian couple and 6 Myanmar nationals were among the deceased. Rescue workers, military officers and volunteers are searching for 3 people that are still missing. At least 23 people are dead and tens of thousands displaced in northeast India after extreme flooding. Floodwaters in neighbouring Bangladesh are now receding, but many villages remain cut off. I bring you this report. Safe for now. Residents of Tripura in northeast India seek aid and shelter at a local school turned relief camp after floodwaters and landslides destroyed their homes.
গলা সময় না জল হইছে টুলির উপরে জল গেছে তো স্যার জিনিসপত্র কাগজপত্র সব ভিজে গেছে এখন আমরা ধান পাইতাছি না দেখে আমরা স্কুল আয়া করছি
Officials say more than 1.7 million people have been affected in this state of India alone. Soldiers have been deployed to ferry people from submerged villages to more than 450 camps, where there is now a public health concern.
और रिलीफ कैंप में हम लोग ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अब हमें चिंता है कि स्वास्थ्य पे लोगों के असर पड़ेगा, खासकर डायरिया के केसेस में.
Across the border in Bangladesh, water is receding in many areas after floods there left more than 30 dead and millions cut off without food, water or electricity. The race is now on to ferry those isolated to safety and get essential items to people in need.
ডাউনের দিকে নিচে নেমে আসছে এখন এই মুহূর্তে আমাদের আসলে খাদ্য সামগ্রী পানীয় এটা পৌঁছানোর জন্য মানে পর্যাপ্ত বোটের প্রয়োজন এটা আমি কর্তৃপক্ষকে জানিয়েছি
Officials here warn that some areas will remain submerged for the next few days. This is at least the second time in as many months that the region has been hit by deadly deluges. In July, monsoon rains across India, Bangladesh, Nepal and Pakistan also devastated large areas of those countries. Experts say that extreme weather like this is on the rise as the planet warms due to carbon emissions. And officials across this region warn that the climate crisis will disproportionately affect poorer rural communities less well placed to mitigate the devastating consequences. Dolphin Chen and Rik Glauert for TaiwanPlus. There's new hope for the endangered Andean condor. That's after a breeding project in Colombia successfully hatched a chick through artificial incubation. The chick, named Rafiki, was born after 2 months of incubation. Caregivers are using condor-shaped puppets to keep the chick from getting too used to humans. The plan is to release Rafiki into the wild in 2 years, helping bolster the wild population of a vulnerable species.
Es así como la Fundación Parque Jaime Duque plantea 3 líneas de acción principales para su desarrollo. La primera es el trabajo con las comunidades de los páramos para que eviten esas interacciones negativas con la especie. La segunda es hacer el monitoreo de las poblaciones silvestres para saber su estado real en el que se encuentra. Y la tercera, y es el nacimiento que estamos celebrando, es la reproducción ex situ, bajo cuidado humano.
Visitors to Taipei's Botanical Garden at night may notice a different atmosphere, one with softer lighting. Irene Lin investigates what's behind the new look and how it's protecting the local wildlife.
A soft golden glow illuminating the paths of a city oasis. These are some of the new street lamps in Taipei Botanical Garden. They're part of the Green Glow project, a collaboration with a local light manufacturer to replace old street lamps that were hurting wildlife.
它的一个状况就是会在单点的地方会比较亮，然后但是它灯光的在扩大消散的速度非常的快，所以就容易造成其实我们在视觉上没有看到一个一个的凸亮边。
These bright spots are a silent killer to light-attracted insects, such as this newly found species of beetle called Meridaba taipei, named after Taiwan's capital. Contact between the beetle's coat shells and the heated glass of the old-style lights is a deadly combination, and the architecture of the lights also creates problems.
因为昆虫在这边嘛，蝙蝠或者是一些鸟类，它其实是吃昆虫。它为了要捕捉昆虫，这里有昆虫，它就会跑过来。那可以看到这个其实还有柱子，然后再加上这边还是凸起来，它其实飞过来的时候，它就很容易撞到。
Keeping both this wildlife and human visitors safe at night is a priority of the garden, as parts of it are open at night for people to enjoy bits of nature in urban life. What often gets ignored in this nightfall crisis, however, are the plants. Many of them that grow on trees rely on these nocturnal insects to survive.
当夜间的光不断的照射的时候，把这些夜间的昆虫吸引过去，其实也是让它丧失了能够晚上被授粉的机会。
The new lamps may be a solution. They stand much taller than the old landscape lights and give off a softer glow, so as not to attract bugs while keeping the roads well lit for pedestrians.
3000K 以下的这样子低色温的灯，已经是普遍上面大家认为是比较不容易吸引昆虫的。那我们现在这一批新的灯具呢，我们现在甚至于是用到2700K 的灯具。那这样子的灯具其实还蛮有效的，是让昆虫聚集的状况是更明显的下降。
The garden has also applied the new bulbs to street signs, helping humans and nature coexist in the heart of Taipei. James Lin and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we bring you this footage of a spectacular volcanic eruption in southwestern Iceland. I'm Rik Glauert, take care and we will see you next time. For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, follow TaiwanPlus News on social media.